Jai Baba. Now, after Gokaran's account of his coming to Baba, I wanted to explain one thing why I didn't say to him about Baba, and then I proceed further. You know, when I met Baba in Guru Prasad, one day, one boy came. His name was Professor Gadekar, who is at present Professor Gadekar, who has been the Vice Chancellor of Botany University, that Baba Saheb Ambedkar University, quite a year, I think, he retired October. Now he is a retired person, he left that university. At that time he was a boy. And it was introduced that he was frequently coming to Baba and avoiding studies. Always. So Baba asked him that you every time come to my when you study. He said that Baba, I can't stop coming to you, I am drawn to you, I will be always coming. He said, you will not come to my darshan, you will not come to me till you get first class degree. And it happened that he got first, the day I met Baba, the day on that particular day when I was with Baba, he was being introduced. He had the first class degree and he came to Baba's darshan. So I always had in my mind, and Baba also said it, that we must take opportunities as given by Baba and fulfill them. For example, duties also. Whatever Baba gives, we should take them as given by Baba and we should perform our duties sincerely. If I am given teacher's job, I should do it. If I am given student's job, I must do it. If I am given a family, I should be responsible for it. So that was the reason that I didn't say anything about Baba to Gokaran. But the day when I was transferred, I thought that it is the proper day, I must tell as much as I can about Baba. And I introduced to him Professor Hazra, who has been my friend, and then Gokaran's life. Now regarding my own life. 2 times he said that I was a staunch Hindu, I had a staunch Hindu background. It is true. I read almost all Hindu scriptures, right from Vedas, Upanishads, Aranyaks, and the literature up to Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Ramana Maharshi, Vivekananda, Aurobindo, all that. When I was at Hazra's place, Hazra had been my neighbor. I became his friend thinking that perhaps since he is a Bengali gentleman, he might be worshipping or loving and devoted to Ramakrishna Paramahansa. I was interested in his book, The Ramakrishna Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. So I thought that I will have that book from him. So I befriended him. We developed a friendship. But when I developed friendship, I found that he was always talking about Meher Baba and not talking a word about Ramakrishna. He had a photograph of Ramakrishna in his room. He had a photograph of Yogi Arvind in his room. But he was always talking about Meher Baba and giving me one book after another book. And saying this is the God Speaks, this is the Avatar of Gene Real, all those books available at that time. But since all these books had a lot of material, but basically I asked Hazra that tell me what is new in these books which is not given earlier by the masters or by the inventors. And he was unable to do it. Because whatever he said that this is the new, I said already it has been given. And this kind of discourse between us continued for a number of days, months. Till one day, Hazra told me that Surendra, you consider Ramakrishna as the perfect master, but he is not living. And Meher Baba, because Meher Baba's difficulty with me was that he was not looking like a yogi. I used to tell Hazra that your Meher Baba looks more a Babu than a Baba. Appearance is nothing. You cannot think that he is a yogi or is a Mahatma like that. So this was the basic. Ultimately, what happened? One day Hazra told me that Surendra, Baba is giving darshan in Pune. Guru Prasad, and it is our vacation time, and teachers are given vacation during summer. And since Baba is giving darshan in vacation, you need not have any kind of leave for that. You can go easily. Today you do not believe in Baba as perfect master, but supposing when Baba drops his body and you come to know it later on that he was the perfect master, then you will repent. So why don't you come with us and have Baba's darshan? Just for curiosity. And for curiosity alone, I agreed. There is nothing wrong in visiting a master. Let us go. So we both reached Guru Prasad. It was a big gathering, huge gathering, and I and my Hazra both were standing on the back side of the crowd. Baba was sitting on the sofa, and we are on the back side of the crowd. Hazra asked me, Baba was doing so many things simultaneously. He was giving prasad, he was embracing the people, he was talking also, the rest was interpreting. So everything was going on simultaneously, everything at that particular moment. Hazra told me that let us also come in queue and have Baba's embrace. I told Amiya that it is given in Shastras, in sacred texts, that the darshan of the perfect master itself is sufficient and it washes out all your sins of millions of of births. So there is no need of embrace. If he is the perfect master, I have had his darshan. It is sufficient. Because I cannot stand I do not have the stamina to stand in such a long queue. So this talk was going on between me and Hazra on the back side of the crowd, and Baba gave a hand like this towards us. Naturally, I didn't expect that it would be for me. I thought it is 100% for Hazra. So I told him, he also told me that since I didn't enter the queue, Baba has called me directly. So I said that you go. So just from the crowd, making the space out of the crowd, those who were sitting, he must have moved 2 or 3 steps ahead. And then Baba stopped like this. Erech, who was interpreting Baba, he said, Amiya, Baba wants your friend. Now this was a pleasant shock. Because I was never introduced to Baba. I never wrote a letter to Baba. My coming to Baba was a sudden. It was not a pre-planned thing. But at that moment I thought in my mind, Hazra must have wrote about me earlier to Baba. Otherwise, how could he catch me like this? I approached to Baba. He made simple questions, simple queries. Have you come for the Pune for the first time? Yes. You have come to Pune for making for my darshan or for visiting the sites? I said, I came for your darshan. How many days you propose to stay? There was no, I remained silent because there was no question of staying for a longer period. Then he said that since you have come, then stay with us. So he permitted me to stay for about 20 days. In the morning at 7, we used to gather together. In the evening we were going back, whole day with Baba. And in the night we were staying at our usual places, but the day was with Baba. This was the year and the time when Irvin also went to Baba. In Mandali at that time, Francis Brazon, T.D. Deshmukh, all gems of the time. When I was with Baba, I recollect one incident. Baba used to read the letters of the lovers and who were sitting in the Mandali, like in the Guru Prasad hall. My father wrote a letter to Baba. Baba said that I received a letter from your father. I said, Baba, I have not written to him for such a long, all this period. So naturally, he might be worrying. So Baba said, no. He is writing that you are not marrying. What is the reason? I said, at that time, I was the only earning person. And the salary was only 236 rupees. That is a very small sum to get married. So that was one. And my brother was also studying in engineering. So with all these responsibilities, it was difficult for me to get married. So I was always refusing. My father thought it right that since he will not disobey Baba, so he wrote a letter to Baba. Baba said, why don't you marry? I said that when you say that I will marry. Baba became happy. And then he asked each and everybody sitting in that hall of Guru Prasad Pune, how did you marry? How did you marry? Do you give the account of your marriage? So everybody was some very funny situations of the marriage, love marriages, arranged marriages, every kind of. And there was a huge laughter and everybody was very happy. Then Baba said to me that you write this to your father, which I say about the girl. And then he described the girl. She should be like this, you should not be like this, she should be like this, she should not be like this. And for about 3 or 4 minutes, Baba continued.
Baba described
this should be the kind of girl you should marry. Then he asked, will you write? I said, yes, okay, Baba, I will write. Just to avoid because all this time everything was going over my head. Nothing was sticking anywhere. So when I said that, Baba, will you write? I said, yes, Baba, I will write. Then Baba said, then tell what you will write. And when he said, tell what you will write, it was a hell of the time. I could not remember anything to say, this is the characteristic of the girl you described. Then Baba made a laugh. Everybody laughed. And Baba said, then I will write. And I wrote to my father about my marriage, that you arrange the marriage of the boy. He has agreed. Now this I mentioned because on that particular occasion was also my friend Hazra with me. And his mother, every time when she was coming to Baba, making only one request that you allow my son to marry. And Baba every time was saying no. So when he permitted me, she thought that it is perhaps the most opportune time. Baba is granting marriages. So she again asked Baba that you allow Amiya to marry. Baba then again said no. He is not to marry. This I tell you simply to emphasize that Baba had no prescriptions common to all. To each and every individual who was approaching Baba, he has a separate prescription. We were two brothers. And request was from my father. Amiya's mother was widowed. He had only one son. His case was more genuine for the marriage. He has a big property to be looked after. I had nothing, even not money to marry. So Baba said no. Then the day we were departing, the mother again made a request to Baba. And then Baba, the same thing, her own plight, her own situation, family situation, she all explained to Baba. Then Baba said, all right, I permit. But he made his 2 fingers rub like this. I will pulverize him.
I will what?
Pulverize him. Pulverize.
All right.
Pulverize.
Yeah.
Meaning.
Pulverize and take a ash. Now if he... Hazra. But my mother didn't bother whether he leaves him in a solid state or in a pulverized state. She became happy, contented, got his marriage plan. Now after, if you compare the lives of our two friends, Hazra's life was fire. But he is a gold out of the gold, which was created out of the fire. Such a gentle, saintly person. No match to him. And I was a different man. Such a man like Hazra is very rarely created. Because he is also witness to it, I am also witness to it. We are friends. We are friends and we still continue to be friends. My life is different. His life is different. But had it been my case, and all those situations in which Hazra passed in his life, I would have become mad. But you meet and you find that he is a person completely, very gentle, very still loving, very loving person, very gentle person, very peaceful person. Still. So that is how the perfect master supports. Even if that my belief is that a perfect master or God can never punish a man because we belong to his own kind. How can he punish us? If the punishments come, they come from the lower strata, from devtas and the angels and everything, from other reasons, our own karmas. God cannot punish. Impossible. God cannot punish. It can only save. It can only help. So it was, even if it looks that he is punishing, it is ultimately for his ultimate good. And it happened with Allah. To me also, perhaps the way Baba allowed me to marry, my married life was very, very happy. And every time Baba supported. At the time of marriage, I didn't have money. Still, I didn't have money. In the period when I was professor, I didn't have money. But every situation was so normally, and so everything, whenever I required, the money came from the skies. My son, when he got admitted for studies in the university, he got a scholarship in BSc, he got a scholarship in MSc, he got a scholarship in PhD. No burden of his teaching any kind of burden on me. Now this was Baba. I remember one instance, because one day we were in Guru Prashad. Alobaji was very kind towards family. He was always asking about the family, what is happening to your children, where are your children, what they are doing, how are you, and all these things. So one day he caught us to his small room on the bedside. We were with him. He was asking about the children. I told him that he is employed here, and everything. We are all fine. How much money you have got? Allah asked me, how much money you have got? I said, none, nothing. Impossible. You are a professor, drawing this much salary, and you say that you don't have any money. It's impossible. At least you have got 100,000 rupees in your bank. I said, Loji, it's not that. No. He will not yield. He will always stick to his position. No. This much money you must be having in the bank. I said, no. Then he said, at least 60,000 you must be having in the bank. I said, hello, Haji, accept my salary, which is deposited every time. I don't have any money in the bank. No securities, no fund, nothing like that. So Alohaji became serious. My wife, who was with me at that time, she said that his accounts of pension in college are not settled and they are still awaited to be settled by in the Accountant General's office. When they come, then we might have some money. At present, we don't have. So Alohaji became serious. He said, let's come to in the Mandali hall where we have the Baba's photograph and the Baba's charan. He took us there. He prayed. He asked us to go down. We both went down. At that time, I stayed in this hostelry for about 15 days. But when I returned back to my house, when I sorted my post, I found a settled case of having 60,000 rupees from Accountant General. Then people laughed at me, but I did not say did not agree for 100,000. You could have got 100,000. Why did you argue? But later on, by subsequent adjustment, I got 100,000 rupees from the accountant general. Now it is how things happen. Another instance which I remember of the group sad days, it is also published. Baba once asked, who was being called? Some people have asked me, requested me that they should have their photograph with me. Baba says that they should have their photograph with me. I do not wish such a thing. But for their sake, I am agreeing, and now I am in the lawns of Guru Prasad. Those who want to have photograph with me, they should come and have a photograph. Those who don't want, those who want to follow my wish, they should stay away. But doesn't matter. Even if I am not getting angry, it will not annoy me, it will not disobey me. I am permitting you to come with and have your photograph. So there was a queue. One after another, they were all going to Baba beside me. They were just Baba and there was a photographer who was taking the photographs. Milan Photo Studio. I thought that when Baba doesn't wish to have a photograph with him, why should I go? I stayed away. Others were, all my friends who were with me, they had their photographs. On third day, they said to me that let us go to Milan Photo Studio for having our photographs with Baba. I said, you go. I don't have any photograph with Baba, so what will I do? You all go with, and have this. Then they said, Amiya told me that if you don't have your photograph with Baba, at least there are so many good photographs of Baba which are available and you purchase one. He said, all right, I accompanied. But when I accompanied, and to my surprise, when I saw the table, I got one photograph of Baba with me, in which there was Irwin Luck, myself, GSM Murthy. It was in the Vendalu's family, where we were all going for the house visits with Baba. And there was a sofa on which Baba was sitting. I was sitting like this. Irwin was sitting like this. GSM Murthy standing in the back. The photograph was there. I became very happy. Without any, so I got the photograph. That is the only photograph which is still I possess with Baba. Otherwise, other things are there. So Baba knows what you have, even your inner wish. So when I obeyed Baba, by obeying I did not suffer, and I have my own reward. Another instance which I recollect with Baba. Baba said that Baba was giving Sharbat to everybody in queue. All were standing in queues. That apple juice, everybody, mug full of apple juice, everybody, and they were all standing in queue. Baba said, not more than one glass. So everybody was having their fill, and the queue was continuing. But our Francis, he was a very naughty person, very jovial person, very different person. He would collect the spoil, whatever is being from the mug, whatever was given. So one more glass out of this spoil of the glass. He was having his view by having one full of glass and other out of this spoil. Baba became, and twisted his ear like this. When I married, and we both went to Baba, myself and my wife, we both went to Baba. It was my habit to keep at place in time. This I continued throughout my life. I never go late. I go earlier, but I never go late. So when Baba gave that this is darshan time, come what may, we should reach that particular time. So when my wife, there was a time. In morning time, there was no rickshaw, no auto, nothing there in Pune, and we had to walk down on foot. My wife was with me. I was a fast walker at that time. I was making long paces, running fast so that we reach in time. She got frustrated by me, always looking furiously to me. Still, I will stop for some time and then again walk in the same speed. It was just somehow we reached fighting in Guru Prasad, but we reached in time. Baba, it was her first meeting to Baba. Baba asked her, how he keeps you? She was already getting furious, she was already annoyed. So she said, Baba, he is always fighting, quarreling, and always So Baba, at that time, he took both of my ears to her pleasure, twisted them. Twisted them like this. I still remember the eyes of Baba. So beautiful, full of nectar, so beautiful, so naughty, so I can't describe. Beautiful eyes. By those eyes, all this would not have happened, I would have not seen those eyes. If this Baba was seeing me. These are the eyes of the father towards the son. My wife also became happy. I also became happy for both parties. All this happened, but still my wife was not believing Baba is God. How much time?
5:15. Yes, only. I've got at least until 6.
I have to close at 6.
My problem is I have samadhi duty at 6.
So anyway, at what time I should finish?
Well, you can go on with some of how to finish off right now. I'll have to stop.
But one more story and then it is done.
4 to 6 is good? Okay.
Yeah.
One more story and it is done.
What do you think? I'll get a 20 minutes.
So this happens that I was talking about the wife's meeting with Baba. She will not agree, in spite of meeting Baba, that he is God. We all wish to Riva. I was believing Baba is God, but I never forced her to believe like that. She was taking himself as a Mahapurush, as a great man. Gokaran's family and Gokaran were believing both as Baba is God and not the Mahapurush, etc. So Rathore came and they also started believing Baba is God and nothing other than that. But when one day, Mr. Rathore's wife asked Madhuri, my wife, Dr. Bhatnagar believes in Baba. How you take Baba to be? She told that I take him to be Mahapurush. One day it happened. Now that is the situation, that the turning point. One day happened that one student of mine who was a student leader also, he came to me and said that you give me first class marks in this paper. Others have told that they will give and you give. I just laughed and I said that marks are earned, they are not given. He said that you are talking ideal things, these do not happen these days, and I simply request you that you give me first class, otherwise see what happens. He gave me a threatenment. I didn't give him normally what he deserved and he didn't get the first class. One day I was sitting in my room and outside there was a servant of the room. He said that that boy Dhruv has come along with one more person and he wants to meet you. I said that ask him to come inside. My servant said, no, he is insisting that I should go and meet him outside. I came outside. I saw a stranger. His name was Vakil. He was on parole, released 4 or 5 days earlier. He was a person who was convicted for murders of so many persons. He was released in parole. So he told me that you have spoiled the career of this boy and I give you 15 days time and you leave Riva. Otherwise I will blast your family. I said, who are you? Then he said, everybody knows me except you. So what I say you take it seriously. And abusing and hurling every kind of abuse there, he just walked away. Now this news trickled somehow to my wife. She became very nervous because her children were going to school, and that boy was having the same, the school was in the proximity where that boy was living. So she was very nervous, very full of anxiety. For 3 or 4 days, the situation was, if you, and anybody enters our home, nobody will be happy, because everywhere heavy mind and everything. She was not doing the work also properly. With her, we used to go to a temple of a Hindu god, Bajrangabali, Hanumanji, monkey god. So she started praying, Hanumanji, Hanuman Chalisa. We have not done anything wrong. Why should we suffer? And she was praying and tears were rolling on her cheeks. I was at that time in my office. But when all this was happening, Hanumanji didn't come, came Meher Baba for the first time. And he waved hands like this. Arey wo to kuch nahi. That's nothing, don't worry. When I returned, everything was very happy. Home was very clean, neat, tidy. And she was also very happy. And she narrated the entire account to me. I asked her, Madhuri, you were praying Hanumanji. From where did come Meher Baba? She was praying Hanumanji. From where Meher Baba came? So she said there must be something in my mind, and that is it is like this. Next day what happened? That boy who gave the threat, he procured a bomb from the good factory. There is a place good from where he procured a bomb. It was a Saturday, and he told the other boy who didn't get the first class that today let us go and finish the affair. He told that boy, Vakil, that Mr. Bhatnagar is warden also, and his quarter is just with the hostel. So Saturday is not the good day. If you go today, then the students are there and there might be some. So you put the bomb somewhere, and on Sunday we will go and finish it. So they did put the bomb in a shop of a person who makes the repairs of the cycle, Shafiq. And that particular man went to his home on Saturday, but while he was going towards his home place, his enemies, they took him, grabbed him and murdered him. That Vakil, the man who was let free on parole, was finished on that day. News was flashed in papers.
The one who was going to kill you
was killed on Saturday. They were planning to kill me, but ultimately...
Who killed that fellow?
They were his own enemies. His own enemies. They just grabbed up him and killed him. And when this happened, the news was flashed in all newspapers. One of my friends, Professor Mathur, he came to me and brought the newspaper that the one who was giving a threat to you is killed. And the rumor felt that his Meher Baba has done it. I said, Meher Baba won't do these things. He is a kind. He will never punish. Come what may, he will never punish. This is his own acts and doings which are responsible for it. It is not Meher Baba's. But the rumor went like this. This boy who heard this rumor, he came running to me. And he said that this is the only accident that saved you. Otherwise, our plan was like this. He fell on I didn't allow him to fall on my feet. I asked him to sit on sofa. Offered him tea. Then he narrated the entire incident, what they planned. And ultimately, this is how we see. From this particular day, Baba was coming in her visions in number of occasions. The full story. Now, 10 to 12 instances. Ultimately, such instances convinced her of Baba's godhood, not his Mahatma's. And because when we prayed to God, it was always Baba who came and rescued and provided. So it is how. She came to Baba and started believing Baba is God and not as Mahatma. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're still 15 minutes. Do you want to talk some more? You still have 15 minutes. How about more stories?
15 minutes.
15 more. You want to tell some more incidents about the... Whatever you want.
Regarding my son, for his graduation, post-graduation, and for his PhD, doctorate, I had no means. So Baba provided some other kind of scholarship by which he was studying. But the problem was in the admission. In BSc AG, he secured third position in the university. But when the results were out, it was found that all seats are fulfilled everywhere. In other universities, when the results were out, in other universities, the seats were fulfilled. So despite that he obtained the third position in the university, he could not get any admission anywhere in the country. Because all seats were fulfilled in other universities. Because the results which were declared, they were declared late. So that boy came to us and he was just in tears and said, "There's no fault of mine. I am not getting any admission anywhere. What should I do?" So this I narrated to my brother. Brother incidentally narrated the same instance to his friend Shivliya, who was in Delhi, that this is the situation in the universities, that they make declaration of results late. And the result is that the good students, they are not able to get proper admissions. Now, here comes Meher Baba. It never happens in the life of anybody. Casual reference, casual talk to his friend. My brother said, casually. But when that friend reached to Delhi and he was reading Times of India, there was an advertisement about the admissions in Indian Institute of Agricultural Research, IARI, MSc, for the MSc courses. And this advertisement was coming for so many days. Only 3 days were left for filling the forms. So that man got his servant and sent by aeroplane, sent by plane, got the form filled, that man went back and the form was deposited. Nobody does it for the casual function. So that he secured his admission in the Indian Institute of Agricultural Research. Not only he got the admission, he got the scholarship also. Not only in MSc, in MSc he got the gold medal. Then because he got the gold medal, he got the first position, he got the PhD, and that also on the scholarship. I had not to spend a penny. Then the last, about the job. When he applied to different places, they said, "You are overqualified. If we give you appointment, you will leave after, you will go after some time. You will not stay in the place. You will go somewhere. We want people who can stay with us. But with this biodata which you gave, we don't expect that you will stay with us. So we want a person who can stay. So we are not giving job." So this boy came 2 or 3 times. He said that if I show all my certificates, they say that you are overqualified. If I do not show them, they say you are underqualified. It's very difficult to get the job. So he was in tears. We had a small table over which Meher Baba's photograph is there. So my wife just did sit there and she prayed. Baba came with 2 envelopes in the hands, one pink and one brown. It is for Ashish. And she handed over those 2 envelopes to my wife. Vision disappeared. And she became happy. She told me about this vision.
Baba came in person?
Baba came in person.
Yes.
In day. It's not in dream, just in
person, in front of
in front of her.
When he came in a vision or he came in person?
No, he came in vision.
In a vision.
Not in sleep, but in vision.
In a vision, yeah.
Because, so Baba gave two envelopes. One was pink, another was brown.
Okay.
And said that these two envelopes are for Ashish.
Okay.
She narrated this to me. I said that I feel that now the Ashish will get job. Now Ashish will get job. It happened that first appointment which he got was in Vanasthali Vidyapith in Rajasthan. And the envelope which he received was pink. He served there for 6 months. He got his next appointment there in the university where he is serving at present in Ajmer. And the envelope was brown. Now that confirmed everything. So that is how not only Baba helped us in getting his education, his appointment, and not only his appointment, my daughter-in-law, she also got appointed in the same university, the same department. It's impossible. Because the two posts of microbiologists were vacant. So both got appointment in the same university, now both go and come. And so easy for them. Now it is how Baba helps. Because these are the days when for a single appointment of any kind, it is impossible to get anywhere. But this reservation, that reservation, this and that and everything. For the two posts of associate professorships in microbiology, first to my child and the another to my daughter-in-law, both could be secured only by the grace of Baba. It is how my son came to Baba. Because even today, whenever anything good happens, he brings the envelope and puts there at Baba's feet. Anything good. If there is a problem, he goes to Baba. If there is any good happening, he goes to Baba. Now it is how because it is a conviction. And my wife, she is totally convinced. I may have some doubt somewhere, sometime, but no doubt in her mind anytime. It is how my son, my friend, my wife, and we make a family of Baba. Anything more?
Okay. Thank you.
Jai Baba.